Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm AndyRC and today I'm going to be doing a news/updates video. So first of all, I just want to apologise that there haven't been any videos on the channel for the last week or so, and that is because I came down with a illness that I've been trying to get over. I completely lost my voice. It's still not fully back, and we've had quite a lot of snow as well, which has meant further delays. Anyways, I just want to thank you for sticking with me, and hopefully the videos are going to come in thick and fast as soon as I have fully recovered. So there's a few things that I want to talk about. A lot happens in the space of 4 or 5 days when you don't release any videos. So I think one of the last videos I released was on the Diatone GTR 90, and some very interesting things came out of that video. So here it is. My review resulted in a fire, and the majority of people were thanking me that, you know, I sort of took one for the team trying it on a 4S and the thing catching fire. And then there was also some backlash, people saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you haven't done your research, you haven't used the correct 4S battery, it does take a 4. Well, to me, if a copter catches fire on any 4S battery, then it doesn't support a 4S. Anyways, I do acknowledge some things about that video. First of all, it was extremely cold. It was like -6 in that video. However, I did fly my Flex RC Ascent 3-inch quite a lot on the same day on a 4S, and that one didn't catch fire. But my GoPros were locking up. So I do acknowledge that it was extremely cold. And I don't know, maybe moisture could have got in or whatever. And yeah, this is the result. You can't really see it here. I did post a picture where I got some better light on it there. Yeah, this side of the ESC is just completely fried. So it could be a faulty component, but when I was hovering it indoors on a 4S, these motors were getting incredibly hot. And I just think that a 4S is too much for it. But Diatone saw that video, and this is what I didn't want to happen really. I don't want it to have a negative effect on Diatone, because there's a lot of competition on the 2-inch side of things, you know. We've got the Baby Hawk R version that they have released, which is competing with this, and of course they don't want a video out there with their pride and joy on fire, but I can't not post when a copter catches fire. So they are sending me another one, and I'm going to test it in fairer conditions when it's not snowing. And funnily enough, I still think that this copter will be better on a 3S. I think it's going to be diminishing returns on a 4S just because of the weight. I think the smallest battery you can get is 400 milliamp, maybe 350 milliamp, and then you have to think about flight time and stuff like that. So I think when I get a new one of these, I'm going to run it on a 3S, and I think it's going to perform just as well as it did on a 4S. So yeah, while we're on the subject of the Baby Hawk, I really want to try one. However, I reached out to my contacts, and basically the gist was, oh, it's got enough pre-orders, we don't need a review of it. So that was interesting to know where some people's loyalties lie. So I might have to buy one if I want to check that one out. I'll see if I can source it from somewhere. Other than that, let's talk about some stuff that's going to be coming up on the channel. So I actually have this one. This is the King Kong Flying Egg 130. It's a bit old now, but I never got a chance to check it out. So I'm going to be doing a review of this at some point. Now, I do believe the components are coming in stock next week on the Flex RC website, so I'll have my build video coming up of this. I absolutely love this model. Definitely my favorite build of the year, with it being such a small model, and it's got the perfect video feed and the HD camera, so look out for that. Just waiting for components to come in stock. So next, it is goggle related. I mentioned in a video that I've been having problems with the Real ACC Pro Plus Diversity module, and I've decided to get a True-D system just to try out, because I have not tried any of the premium diversity modules, I guess the Holy Bro hook here was sort of up there, mid-range I would say, but yeah, I'm interested in the True-D system, so this going faulty has given me the opportunity to try that out, so that should be coming up at some point. Now, the next thing I want to talk about actually hasn't arrived yet, but I am going to be checking out the Range RX IRM, I think it's called. It's a multi-protocol transmitter. It looks a bit like the TBS Tango transmitter. I don't know whether it's going to have Deviation TX on it. I really hope that it does, although I hear that it has been delayed maybe until January 2018, which is a shame, but you know, I'm willing to wait for this stuff. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out in January. So another thing that I've got is the Eachine Stack. I wasn't going to bother with this because I saw that it was going to have a fair amount of latency, but then videos started to come out and a bit of a mixed bag. Some were like, yeah, it's not very good, and some were like, yeah, it's brilliant for the price. So yeah, if you don't know about it, it is kind of like a competitor to the Runcam Split, except you get a ESC stack and flight controller in there as well. So I'm interested to check this one out. I just need to find a frame to put it on, so I need to buy one as well, so it could be a while until I get to look at this, but I'm still interested in it. The next thing I want to talk about is goggle. Now, Skyzone have got their SKY03 goggles coming out, and when I reviewed the Onways and some of the goggles that failed, such as the TOPSKYs, I saw a lot of comments that said actually the Skyzone SKY02 are probably the best goggles. I've never tried any Skyzone goggles. I saw some reviews that said that they don't have great reliability. So yeah, I'm interested in these Skyzone goggles because it seems like they are an almost identical feature set to the Fat Shark HD3s. I believe they've gone to a 4:3 aspect ratio, which I personally prefer. The DVR looks interesting because they're saying it records an X264, which might be a higher quality than the AVI of the Fat Sharks. We have a 43-degree field of view and their signature camera at the front. I'm not sure I'll use that, but yeah, those should be coming at some point. I don't know a date. And while on the subject of goggles, TOPSKY keep cropping up every now and then. I'm told that they have fixed all of the issues. They say they're going to send me a new set. However, nothing has actually turned up yet. But I'd be interested to see what they have done because I want those goggles to work. But I think the more time they take to fix them, the less interested people will get. And I can't talk about goggles without mentioning the EV200Ds. I haven't heard anything from those since. I believe it's going to be next year until those surface as well. So yeah, that is the subject of goggles. Lots to talk about. So moving on, I mentioned that I was going to do a build with the FURC Kore UD carbon, and I've been waiting for the ESCs and flight controller to turn up. Those have now turned up, so I'm hopefully going to be doing sort of like a premium end of the year 5-inch racer build. It's going to be based around this, so hopefully whilst I'm recovering from this illness I can get and do the build for that. So there's another model that's currently in transit, and it's part of the FuriBee GT series. So they released the GT215, which I reviewed, and the GT90, and there's just the 220 Fire Dance, which I believe has been shipped. So I should be checking that one out. I'm a little bit skeptical of it though, because I think it's going to have similar components to the 215, which did have some issues. So if you're looking at that one, I'd say wait out until I receive that one. So I want to talk about the Electron Out Podcast. So it's a weekly podcast that I go on quite a lot on a Thursday at 8 p.m. They have got their Christmas episode coming up this Thursday, and fingers crossed I'm going to be well enough to go on it. I think they've got some good guests lined up, so look out for that Thursday at 8 p.m. And next I want to talk about a huge list of models that are going to be coming out from Gearbest. Now, what I will say about this is that Gearbest aren't too hot on releasing their models, so they put models on their website that make it look like you can buy it and are shipped now, and then they don't turn up for 2 months. So what I will say is, I think it's worth buying into these models, but I would say wait until the reviewers have checked them out, because they're a little bit hit and miss lately. You know, that the Fire Dancer model, it looked like a really great model on paper, but it had some issues. So yeah, I'm gonna reel off a load of stuff now from Gearbest. One thing I did notice, I don't usually get into like deals and stuff, but I saw that the XIAOMI Mi 4K copter at the date of making this video was just £300. It was on like a flash sale. That's a really good copter. I like it. So yeah, I'll just put that out there. Other than that, there is a load of Gearbest models, and it's probably going to take me too long to talk about all of them, so I'm just going to list them. We have got the Aurora 110 Micro, and then we have another model that seems similar to the GT series. That one's called the Stormer 220, but it's just got the slightly bigger motors in there. We have got one called the Aurora A100. It seems to be a competitor to the OneSal Bat 100 from Full Speed RC. So these are models I'm all hoping to get hold of at some point, by the way. So the next one is one called the FuriBee Apis florea. Kind of sounds like a body part, doesn't it? Oh, I've got a right pain in my Apis florea. I don't know where they get these names from, but anyway, there's that one. And they've now listed the X215 Pro, which has got the built-in HD stack. So I think it's a copy of the Eachine Stack, maybe even the same one. Then we've got a model called the FuriBee Space Wolf DT140, which is obviously a 140 size model. And then another one that is called the Eagle DT90, which is a clear rip-off of the Diatone GTR 90, so be careful of that one. And then another model called the FuriBee Geniuser, I think that's how you say it, Geniuser 160. It looks to be a similar model to the X140, except a 160 size model. So I think they all look pretty interesting, but like I say, take all of the specs of these models with a pinch of salt, because yeah, it seemed to be a bit hit and miss. I don't think FuriBee is one company. I think it's a bunch of different groups that get rebranded as FuriBee, a bit like Eachine. So I think that is why sometimes the quality of them is amazing and sometimes it's a little bit hit and miss. But there you go, that is the news video. I hope you enjoyed it, and again, thanks for sticking with me, and hopefully I'll get better and I'll be putting out some more videos soon. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.